فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له: عليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد عزلت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء، ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتا يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد عزلت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء، فلما اكتمل جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ بي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومع بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال: اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وهامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يعلمني ما يعلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا هرب لمن هاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، واذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات، إني ما خلقت سماعا مبنيا ولا عرضا مدهيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيعا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل: يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة أبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل: يا رب، أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم، قد عزلت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرأك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي، إني ما خلقت سماعا مبنيا ولا عرضا مدهيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيعا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تعذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال يا رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله فإنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبريل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لي أبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبيه يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما ذكر قبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام إذن والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما ذكر قبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مهموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجتي إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام إذن والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Can I have another loud salawat as I invite Zohaib for the recitation of some poetry?
Salawat. The choice. When I hear his story, it makes me think. When I'm drowning in sins, feeling like I'm going to sink. I remember how he turned over a new leaf. All you need is strength and also belief. When at school I have a choice between making friends happy or sad, it gives me hope when I hear how he was torn between good and bad. You can always turn guilt into something good. The Ahlulbait will shield us like a hood. When I hear about this awesome man, it makes me think I always can. When I'm on the crossroads, always trying my best, the story of this hero always helps me with this test. When I hear how Hud changed his side, it must have been hard, but he had to decide. He surrendered to our Imam, hands tied towards his back. This story gives us hope and tells us to stay on the right track. Salawat.
I would like to invite Ali Abbas and Ali Mehdi for the recitation of Marsiya. Kind of one loud salawat.
صلوات. جو حال دل کا ہے نہ سنو گے حسین سے، جاتے ہوئے گلے نہ ملو گے حسین سے. تم جا رہے ہو چلتی ہے سینے پہ برچیاں، کس طرح جانے دوں تمہیں نیزوں کے درمیان. آئے نہ زخم چاند سے سینے پہ میری جان، جانے پہ درد دعا بھی نہ لوگے حسین سے. جاتے ہو جاؤ تم کو مگر یہ رہے خیال، سینے کے سامنے سے نہ ہرگز ہٹے یہ دال. نیزہ کوئی کلیجے پہ آیا نہ میرے لال، تم حال دل بھی کہہ نہ سکو گے حسین سے. تنہا ہو تم یہاں تو وہاں لاکھوں اشکیاں، پیاسی تمہارے خون کی ہے بانی یہ جفا. ایک شور ہے کہ آتا ہے ہم شکل مصطفیٰ، اے چاند بدلیوں میں چھپو گے حسین سے. جو حال دل کا ہے نہ سنو گے حسین سے، جاتے ہوئے گلے نہ ملو گے حسین سے. صلوات.
بعض بلند صلوات. Can I have another loud salawats? اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے، ہے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے. اپنے لہو میں آپ سنورنے کے دل نہ تھے، ہے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے. رکتا نہیں ہے سینے سے جو خون ہے رواں. اے لال یہ بتا دو کہ کس جا لگی سنا، اپنی ریاضتوں کا خزینہ تو دیکھ لوں، اپنی ریاضتوں کا خزینہ تو دیکھ لوں. اکبر ہٹاؤ ہاتھ میں سینہ تو دیکھ لوں، اپنے لہو میں آم سنورنے کے دن نہ تھے ہائے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے تم کیا گرے ہو مقتل میں اٹھ نہ سکا حسین تم کو سینہ لگی ہے اور زخمی ہوا حسین آنکھیں جو تم چراتے ہو دل چھوڑتے ہیں ہم آنکھیں جو تم چراتے ہو دل چھوڑتے ہیں ہم تم ہچکیاں جو لیتے ہو دم توڑتے ہیں ہم اپنے لہو میں آپ سنورنے کے دن نہ تھے ہائے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے اولاد پہ جب آتا ہے 18واں برس خوشیاں سمیٹ لاتا ہے 18واں برس دھولا سے آپ لگتے تھے ہر ایک لباس میں دھولا سے آپ لگتے تھے ہر ایک لباس میں دل ماں کا شاد رہتا تھا سحرے کی آس میں اپنے لہو میں آپ سنورنے کے دل نہ تھے ہائے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے ایک بہت سے بلند تر صلوات Just a couple of reminders and announcements before I invite Dr. Shaeba Rizvi to the minbar. First, I humbly ask everyone to come forward with a loud salawat to make some room for everyone coming in. As you're all aware, this center runs off the support of the community. So I implore you all to donate and to sponsor our majlis. For sponsoring, you can come to me, Abid Uncle, or any auntie over on the ladies' side. Also, we have a debit machine over at the front. So if you guys would like to donate just through that, you guys can go over there to the front and don't hesitate to ask. I'd also like to talk about volunteering opportunities at Dua Center. If you guys want to recite a Noha Salam, or you'd like to do Ziyarat at the end, you can come to me, Abid Uncle, or even you can message any auntie. And that's about it. Concluding announcements. I request you all to rise as I invite Dr. Shaeba Rizvi to the minbar. Ba'azib al-antar salawat.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغه مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون، الذي لا يدركه بعد الهمم ولا يناله غوص الفتن، الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت معدود ولا أجل ممدود. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، خير المبشرين والمنذرين، شفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وحبيب قلوبنا، سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين، صلوات الله عليهم أجمعين، الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dearest brothers and sisters in faith, mu'mineen, mu'minat, my elders, my youngers, it is my honor once again to have this opportunity to look upon your bright faces and continue our discussion. I hope that you're not too tired. It's become day 6 now and you've been doing majalis after majalis. In the love of Imam Hussein, you have dedicated all your time to him and his family and the martyrs that were martyred along with him. And of course, Bibi Sayyada is watching everything you do and is rewarding you abundantly for all that you do. There's a concept, there's an idea. And what happens is you will see that everybody accepts religion and deen according to their own intellect, according to their own ma'rifah. We develop a concept of the universe. What is the universe? What is Allah? What are the masumeen? What are the anbiya? What are the imams? What is vilayat? And as we form our own concepts, what happens is it affects how we look at the world. The idea of there being a God is there amongst many people. Many people believe there is an Allah. But there are some people who believe there is an Allah, there is a God. Maybe they don't know his name, but they know there is a creator. And then they believe that there was no religion and there was no prophet and there was no book. But yes, there is a creator. So what happens now is you have two types of people, let's say, who believe in God. One is the one who is believing that there is a God, a creator, because they know there needs to be an ultimate cause for everything. Everything must be caused by something. That means that if there is heat, it is caused by fire. If there is sunlight, it is caused by the sun. The sun is caused by atoms and molecules. The atoms and molecules were caused by energy. The energy was caused by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everything is caused. But then there is another group of people who say, no, there is an Allah and he sent prophets. So now you have two different ideas. One is the idea of someone saying, wait, there is a God, but there are no prophets, there are no religions, there's no heaven and hell, there's no accountability. We will leave this world and that is it. Once you die, you die. There is nothing after that. You were not anything before this life. You will be nothing after this life, and that's it. So their idea is that there is a God. But then there's the other group who says, no, there is a God, and they sent religion. Now, some of them say that they sent some prophets, and therefore someone believes in prophets from Adam up to perhaps Hazrat Musa, or maybe up to Hazrat Zakaria, maybe up to Hazrat Yahya. And so they are called the religion of Judaism. Then there are some that say, no, Isa is also a prophet. Then they are called Christians. Then you have some that say, no, the last messenger came after Isa, and they are Muslims. Now, if you put all of these people together who believe that there is a creator but no prophet, and these ones believe there is a creator and prophets, do you think they believe in the same creator? Is their perspective the same? Is their concept the same? Because what happens is these ones are believing in a creator, but their idea of the creator is he created the universe and then left it alone. And now he has nothing to do with it. And now he doesn't care. And he's not sending you messengers. He doesn't care what you do. Because if there's no accountability, if there is accountability, that means on the day of judgment, I will stand before Allah and I will account for my deeds. That means he cares about what I do. And he is rewarding me for what I do that is good and punishing me for what I do that is bad. This is a different Allah from the God that is creating and not caring. Do you see how now it's two different people? Does that make sense to you? Let me give you another example. Let's say, for example, some of you know a person named Shaeba. And that's me, by the way. And some of you, another group of people say, we also know Shaeba. And now what happens is both of these groups come together and they compare their idea of Shaeba. And you guys, hopefully, because you're my friends and I love you, and you say, oh, Shaeba's not a bad person. And he works, he teaches in a college, and he has a family, he has a wife and children, and he recites majalis. He loves the Ahlulbait. He's a muhib of the Ahlulbait, and he tries to dedicate his time to spreading their religion. So you say these things about me. This is what your concept of Shaeba is. And there's this other group who says, no, Shaeba's actually... he's someone else. He's this, I don't know, anybody, Chinese person. And he doesn't follow any religion. And actually, he's a serial murderer. He just goes around murdering people. And he's a robber. He robs banks. And, you know, he kidnaps children. Now, what happens is they're talking about someone named Shaeba. You're talking about someone named Shaeba. But is this the same person? Does this sound like this? No, good. Thank you. It doesn't sound like the same person to you. So do you see how you can have a concept of something, but your concept can be completely different? And therefore, if this is really me, and what you believe about me is true, that means what the other group believes about me is not true. That means they don't know Shaeba. They don't believe in this Shaeba. Whatever they think is completely wrong and is irrelevant. And that same way, when we give this analogy, I'm saying that there is a group of people who believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent prophets. And there's a group who believes that maybe he didn't send any prophets. He just created the world and went on vacation. Are they believing in the same Allah? There's big difference, because that Allah doesn't care about you. He just made the universe because he could, because he's powerful. So he made it. He did what he did and he's done. But this Allah cares about you. He loves you so much, he sends you 124,000 prophets to remind you. Don't forget, don't forget. He keeps on telling you, you're just here for a little while. He's testing you. Why is he testing you? Because he loves you. Because he wants you to pass tests and elevate. He does not want you to remain where you are. He wants you get better and better, stronger in faith, in iman, in capability, in intellect, in wisdom, in ma'rifah. He wants you to have more faith. He wants you to have more love. He wants you to connect with each other. He wants you to be good to him, and you to be good to him, and you to be good to him. He wants you to be good to your parents. He wants you to have a family. He wants you to have love. He wants you to have education. It is a very different Allah now. So what we do first of all is we decide, who do we believe in? Do we believe in the creator that just created the world and then left it alone? Because something created the world. Something made it. Whatever it was. You want to call it random explosion, that's up to you. But that becomes your Allah. That becomes your God. Whatever you believe created it, even if you think it's random, even though there's no such thing as random, let's say there is, random is your God. If you believe it's Big Bang that created the world, Big Bang is your God. So whatever you believe created the world, the ultimate cause, that is your God. Nobody does not believe in a God. Sometimes a scientist will say, I don't know what created the world. Okay, then your God is I don't know. That is your God. Your God is I don't know, because you think I don't know created the world. Fair enough. Now, we only have two choices. Either we are believing that the creator created the world and then left it, doesn't care, or the creator created the world and cares and sent prophet after prophet. Have you decided which group you are in? Yes, you have. Good. Now let's take it. I'm assuming you've decided you're in a group where they sent prophets, right? So now the prophets were sent. Now the question is the next question is, okay, now there's two groups over here. One group is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent prophets. The other group is also saying they sent prophets. But this group is saying that the prophets that were sent were just human beings that were chosen. Like, oh, this one seems like a nice person, we'll choose him as a prophet. And they didn't have any special power. They were not masoom. They were not sinless. They made mistakes all the time. So that's one group. The second group is saying, no, if Allah sent a prophet, he sent him with knowledge. He sent him with perfection. He sent him as masoom. He sent him as sinless. And some of them he even gave special powers to. So now you have two choices. Because what happens is, if you are believing in an Allah that is randomly selecting a prophet from a group of people and saying, okay, in this nation, I think Lut seems like a nice person, we'll make Nabi Lut. And in this generation, Ibrahim seems like a nice man, okay, why not, we'll make him prophet. There are people who believe that the last prophet, Muhammad al-Mustafa, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Majority of Muslims, percentage-wise, believe that this man who is our holy prophet, who we believe is the best creation of Allah, the best nur that was made, the first nur that was made, we believe that he was a prophet on the day he was born. But majority of Muslims will say no. At 40, he became a prophet. Before then, he did not even know he was a prophet. So then how did he become a prophet? Allah looked at Makkah and said, I need a prophet in Makkah now. It's, 600 years since time of Isa. This man, who is the son of Abdullah, he seems like a nice person. He's kind of honest. Let's make him a prophet. Oh, he doesn't know how to read. He doesn't know how to write. He is ignorant. He is sinful. He is full of mistakes, but we will make him a prophet. This is what many believe. Not the Shia. But many Muslims believe this. So now the question becomes, is that the same Allah? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how we were saying before? The group that says there's an Allah but doesn't care, and there's a group that said there's an Allah and sends prophets and cares. That's a different Allah. That's a different Allah. So you have to believe in the correct God, the true God, not a God that you make up, but the true God himself. So in that case, what we say is, okay, now are the prophets coming with full of mistakes and sins? Are the prophets coming with perfection and powers? This becomes the question now. And it's not the same Allah. So that's why we have to find the correct Allah to believe in. Not the one that is decided by us, but the one that was decided by what the Prophet said. So now, what will happen is, you will see, as time is progressing, these thoughts are becoming more and more apparent. More and more people are saying these things now. And what are they saying? They are saying that the Imams are not perfect. They are not masoom. The Imams cannot perform miracles. The Imams do not have special powers. Vilayat al-Taqweeni is not something that actually happened. And therefore, they were normal human beings just like us. So you will have to decide on your own which path you are going to take and which Allah you are going to believe in. The purpose of this topic is to just talk about what the Quran says. Not what my mind says or their mind says or their mind says, but what the Quran says. What the Quran says is that Hazrat Dawood was given 3 powers. This is the Quran. We cannot deny it. Because do we believe in an Allah that sent the Quran, or do we believe in Allah that didn't send the Quran? If we believe in an Allah that sent the Quran, then we have to accept what the statement says. So therefore we believe that Dawood had power over birds, and he had power over mountains. They praised with him when he did Hamd and Naat, and he also had power over iron. Then we said that his son, Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam, he had power over air, over jinns, and he communicated with animals. So these powers, I am not saying, the Quran is saying. So therefore, it becomes almost impossible, it becomes impossible to believe in the Quran and deny miracles. Now, the question is, we'll come to Hazrat Isa. And then after that, in the remaining time, we'll go to the Ma'sumin and them as well, because that is our whole purpose. So now we continue with Hazrat Isa. It is Surah Al Imran, Surah number 3 of the Quran. And we are looking at verse 49. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wa Rasulan ila Bani Israel. And he is sent as a Rasul to Bani Israel. And then he is quoted. Allah is saying, this is what Isa says, Andi, indeed I, qad ji'tukum, have come to you, bi ayatin, with signs, mir rabbikum, from your Lord. So now Hazrat Isa is a prophet. He is coming with signs from your Lord. Hazrat Isa's first power was manifested as soon as he was born. And what was that power? It is said that he spoke from the cradle. He said, Inni Abdullah atani al-kitab. So what happens is Hazrat Isa is born in a miraculous way without a father. And that is why many believed amongst the Christians, and they came to believe later, not at the time of Isa, but the idea of Trinity appears 250 years after the life of Hazrat Isa. After he is taken up into the heavens, or as they believe he is martyred at the cross and then buried. The Christians say he is martyred at the cross, buried, and the next day he comes out of the grave and then he disappears and he goes back as God. The Muslims say that no, he was not martyred at the cross. He was taken up to heaven before his martyrdom, and he is waiting in heaven. He will come when our holy Imam, Ajjallahu Farajahum, comes into the world. So therefore, ek salawat par dijiye. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. So therefore now we have Isa, and this is a problem because how can you be born without a father? And Bibi Maryam is not married, and she has never been married, nor she ever left the mosque, the Bayt al-Muqaddas that she is living in. That is why when the angel comes to tell her that Allah is going to give you a son, she says, I have not been touched by a man. How will I have a son? He says that Allah is the one who can do all that He wills, and He can create in any way that He wants to. Now the son comes. When Bibi Maryam becomes pregnant with Hazrat Isa, everybody is pointing to her and suspecting her and saying, how are you having a son without marriage? This does not make any sense. When she finally comes with the son, they look at her and they say, how is this possible? At that time, Hazrat Isa defends his mother from the cradle, and he says, I am an Abdullah, I am a slave of Allah. He has sent me as a messenger, and He has sent me with a book. So the first miracle he shows is that he is speaking at a young age. You see, the whole point of all of these prophets and what they are doing is to connect it to the Masumin. Everything they have done will be done by the 14 in some way or another. Now what happens is, after he says this, we see him as an adult now. In 349, he's an adult and he's saying, I have come to you, I have come to you with signs from your Lord. So what would the signs be that he has come from his Lord? What would you think they should be? If someone comes to you and says, I have come to you with signs from your Lord, then what signs will you ask them to perform? How will they prove to you that they are coming from Allah? He says, Anni akhluqu, I will create for you. Anni akhluqu. Akhluqu is like khalq. It is from the root khalq, which is creation. Anni akhluqu lakum, for you. Minatin, from teen. Kahayati toir, the shape of a bird. And he says, Anni akhluqu lakum minatin kahayati toir. Fanfukhu fihi, and I will blow into this clay. Fayukunu toiram, it will become a bird. Bi'idhnillah, by the power of Allah. This is the sign that he is bringing. First miracle, he speaks at birth. Second miracle is that he says, I will create from clay the shape of a bird, which I will blow the spirit into, and by the permission of Allah, this clay will become a real bird. Hazrat Isa is blowing life into clay and turning it into a real bird in 349. Do you see how much power that is? Let me give you another verse of the Quran. And this is from Surah Araf, Surah Saba, when it talks about the creation of Hazrat Adam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inni khaliqun, I will create. He's using the same word that Hazrat Isa used. What did Allah say? Inni khaliqun basharun min teen. I will create for you the human from teen. And what is Isa saying? Anni akhluqu lakum at-tayru min at-tini at-tayr. I will create from you from clay a bird. Allah is saying, I will create for you from clay a man. Inni khaliqun basharun min teen. And then Allah says, فَإِذَا سَوَيْتُهُ, and then when I have molded him, وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. Nafakhtu is to blow. I will blow in him my spirit. What is Isa saying? He is saying, وَيَنْفُخُ فِيهِ, I will blow into it, فَيَكُونُ طَيْرًا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Do you see that two things Allah said, two things Hazrat Isa said? Allah says, I will make a man from clay and I will blow into it my spirit. Hazrat Isa says, I will make a bird from clay, I will blow into it a spirit. Adam comes to life, the bird comes to life. Why is Hazrat Isa showing the power to create? Why is he showing the power to give life? Hazrat Isa is creating, Hazrat Isa is giving life. This is 349 in the Quran. It is undeniable. It is an incredible power. This is something that would maybe make people think Hazrat Isa is Allah. Because Allah is the one who is creating from teen. Allah is the one who is blowing spirit into Hazrat Adam. But Isa is doing the same thing. Do you see how much power that is? Hazrat Isa says that Anni akhluqu lakum min at-tin ka hay'ati at-tayr fanfukhu fihi fayakunu tayran bi'idhnillah. Wa ubriya al-akmaha wal abrasa bi'idhnillah. And I will cure the lepers and the blind. Now what is it? Do you know what blind means? We know what blind means, right? Even today, if someone is born blind, medical science does not have the ability to cure that blindness. And Hazrat Isa is curing it. Hazrat Isa is 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, he was curing something that even today we cannot cure. Two things. It's amazing the two things that were chosen by Hazrat Isa, that were cured by him, still uncurable today. Leprosy has no cure today, and congenital blindness has no cure today. Leprosy is a bacterial infection like tuberculosis. Tuberculosis still can be cured. Leprosy we do not have a cure for. And congenital blindness, which means the blindness we are born with, till today we don't have the ability to cure it. So Hazrat Isa is manifesting some incredible miracles. Ubriyul akmaha wal abrasa. Abrasa is leprosy, akmaha is blindness. Akmaha wal abrasa bi'idhnillah. Wa unabbi'ukum bima ta'akaluna fi buyutikum. And I will tell you what you are eating in your houses. Wa ma tadakhiruna, and what you are hiding. Inna fi dhalika la'ayatan liqawmi yatafakkarun. And in this are signs for those people who think. So why is Allah sending a prophet who is showing the ability to create, who is showing the ability to cure things that are still uncurable, who is showing hidden knowledge, ilm ghaib? This is ilm ghaib. You know what ilm ghaib is? Ilm ghaib is knowledge of the unknown. Ghaib is unknown. Ilmul ghaib is knowledge of the unknown. That means what is going to happen. What has not happened yet? What are you thinking? What is in your pocket? What have you kept in your homes? What are you lying about? What are you telling the truth about? All of this knowledge that is hidden knowledge, this. And so Hazrat Isa is saying, I will tell you what you are eating in your home. I will tell you what you have hidden in your homes. I will cure your blind. He went up to the lepers and he just touched them and they were cured. He went up to the blind and he touched them and they could see. And at that time, leprosy was very common. And leprosy caused people to have, to lose parts, body parts, like they would have to amputate arms and legs, and they became disfigured. They couldn't walk. It affects the nervous system and your ability to move. You become paralyzed and you become mutated. And then he's just passing his hand over them and they are getting back to completely normal. Their arms and limbs are back. Their ability to move is back. There's people who have never seen their whole life. They are now 50, 40, 70, 80 years old. They've never seen. And he just comes, and now they are seeing. So everybody is amazed by these miracles. Why is Allah doing this? Is there not a fear that this Isa is going to be called God? Today, is he not called God by most Christians? Maybe if he didn't manifest these powers, then they would not be calling him God as much. Maybe as many people wouldn't be. Do you see how Allah is giving powers to his own prophets, even though there is a danger that others will call them God, because Allah in his infinite wisdom is trying to show something. And that is what I want you to think about today. What is he trying to show? Why is he doing this? I won't answer that question yet. That's your homework. But you have to think about it as we continue our discussion over the remaining few days. There is something that Imam Hussain says, and he says, Hal min nasirin yansuruna. Is there any amongst the helpers who will come and help me? Do you know that when Imam Hussain on the day of Ashur in the plains of Karbala says, Hal min nasirin yansuruna, the angels came, and angels upon angels came to help Imam Hussain. Imam Hussain stopped them. He said, no. That's a strange and questionable act in itself. What is going on here? Why is this happening? Why is Imam Hussain doing this? If I ask you for help, and Mehdi comes to help me, and then I say, no, don't help me, then Mehdi will say, well, why did you ask me for help? So Imam Hussain is asked that by the angels, but you called us for help. You said, Hal min nasin yansura. Imam Hussain is saying that call was not for you. The jinn come to help. Imam Hussain says, that call was not for you. Then who was he calling out to? Because no one else came to help. It is said that Imam Hussain was calling out to the generations of lovers of Hussain that will come over the centuries and thousands or hundreds of years, to each of them, to each of us. He was saying, Hal min nasirin yansuruna? Will you help me? Will you help me? Will you help me? And as he's calling you for help, what does he mean to help? Because we're not in the battle of Ashur. We're not in Karbala. He's calling us to help because that means that in this life we can help him. You help him by coming and sitting here. You help him by doing matum. You help him by spreading his message. You help him by organizing majalis. And every day I see our young speaker over here, before he calls me, he's reminding everybody to support the idara. And I just want to repeat what he's saying. We all support in every way we can. We give our time, we give money, we give our energy, and these are the three things that we have: time, money, and energy. And we try to give what we can to help. In this day and age, the name of Imam Hussain is being said everywhere, in every city, and it's because of centers like this. And these centers, the more we support them, the more we support Imam Hussain. Hal min nasirin yansuruna. So I believe the center tomorrow is supposed to have a donation collection, and therefore we should try and support them tomorrow as much as we can. Also, those that are watching online, there is those strips appearing at the bottom that tell you the email address where you can donate. Perhaps it's I don't remember exactly, Funds Dua Center or Donations Dua Center, but if you're watching on the TV, you will see it there. So inshallah, may we all be amongst the Nasirin of Imam Hussain, because he sacrificed much. He sacrificed much. The love of Imam Hussain for his son, Ali ibn al-Hussain, whom we call Ali Akbar. The love of this father for his son is very hard to understand for someone like me. I'm just a normal human being filled with mistakes, and my love can be impurified by my mistakes and my sins. The love of a ma'soom is so pure and so powerful. We can't fathom it. Have you seen the love of a mother for a child? It's unmeasurable. The love of an imam is more than the love of a mother. Your mother loves you definitely more than I can imagine. But I assure you that your imam loves you more, because because they are close to Allah and they are at the center of this love. And the love that Imam Hussein had for his Nana, his Prophet, his Nana, was such that he missed him so much. And his Nana left when Imam Hussein was a young child. He is but 5 or 6 years old. And then much, much later, he has a son who is born to him, who is the Shabi, the exact in looks, in the way he speaks, in the way he moves, just like his Nana. So all the love and the missing that he had for his Nana now is embodied in Ali Akbar. He loved him so much that whenever Ali Akbar walked by, he would say, "Oh Ali Akbar." He would stop what he was doing. He would stop whatever he was doing just to look at Ali Akbar. And he would say, "Ali Akbar, can you please walk by me again? Because whenever you walk in front of me, I remember my Nana." It is said that on the day of Ashur, after the Azan, Ali Akbar came up to his father and said, "Father, I would like to be the first to be martyred." Imam Hussein said, "My son, I give you permission. Go ahead, you can be the first." But it is said that all of the companions of Imam Hussein came and stood before him, and they put their swords on their necks. And they said, "Not in our lives will we watch the one who looks like our Prophet drowned in blood and sand." He says, "Oh Hussein, we cannot see this with our eyes. He will go after we are dead." It is said that they refused to let Ali Akbar go, but there came a time when all the companions had been martyred. And now Ali Akbar went to his father again and said, "Father, can I have permission now to go?" And his father said, "Yes, you have my permission, but I want you to go and take permission from your mother." So he said, "I will go and ask my mother." And as he was going, the father said, "Wait, my son, don't forget to take permission from the mother who raised you." And who raised him was Zainab bint Ali. It is said that Ali Akbar lived with her, he stayed with her, she raised him like a son. It is said that she loved him so much, she never let Ali Akbar leave the house until she had given sadaqah. Until she sent someone with him, she never let him go alone. He was so beautiful, she never let him go without a veil over his face. She would say कि मेरे Ali Akbar को नजर ना लग जाए. It is said that when Ali Akbar goes to ask his mother is Bibi Layla, she gives him permission and says, "Go, my son, go. You have my permission." Now he is going to ask Zainab bint Ali, but he does not know how to ask her because he knows it will make her very sad. It is said that he goes and sits in front of her, and when he sits in front of her, he says, "Dear mother, I have come to ask you something." She says, "Oh, my dear son, what do you ask me? Ask me anything and I will give you." He says, "Tell me, whose son am I?" And she says that you are my son. And he says, "Whose son is Hussein?" And she says, "Hussein is the son of Zahra." He says, "I only ask you one thing, sacrifice your son for the sake of the son of Sayyida Zahra. Sacrifice me for Hussein." And she says that, "You have asked me for something very difficult. I will let you go, but not like this." She calls Fizza and says, "Call all the women of Bani Hashim, for my Ali Akbar now is going to the battlefield." It is said that all the women come and they cry for Ali Akbar like he is not alive anymore. It is not like a living one is leaving the tent to go to the battlefield, but it is like a mayyat is leaving the tent. It is said that he leaves and they call him back one more time and they say, "Don't leave us yet. Let us look upon your bright face one last time." He goes a second time, they call him back again. And they say one more time, "Oh Ali Akbar." It is said 7 times he tries to leave and 7 times they bring him back. On the 7th time, the one who calls him back, it is said that she was pulling his clothing from near his leg and he knew that it was someone young. When he looked down, he saw that it was his sister Sakina. He took her in his arms and he said, "Oh my Sakina, will you not say goodbye to me? Will you not say al-Bida?" She says, "I want to say al-Bida, but your sister who is in Medina, who is waiting for you, she has sent something with me and she told me to give this to you before you go." And he says, what is it, dear Sakina? And she kisses him on the face and she says, this is from your sister Sughra. It is said that finally he gets to the horse, and then his father puts him upon the horse, and then he goes out to the battlefield, and as he fights one after the other. He comes back to his father victorious, and he says, Father, did you like the way I fought? And he says, yes, my dear son. He is sent back again, and now when he is sent back, the enemies attack him from all sides. Hussein cannot find him. It is said that as he is attacked and hit with swords from all sides, and he becomes wounded, he falls to the floor. It is said that Hassin, this Ibn Numair, who was this very, very vicious character, came up to him with a spear which he plunged into the heart of Ali Akbar and then broke it off and said that I will see how patient, how much sabr Hussein has now. Ali Akbar says, Baba alvida, Baba accept me and take my last salam. Hussein wants to find his son, but he cannot see him because all of the light from Hussein's eyes is gone. It is said that he goes in one direction saying, Aina Ali Akbar, Aina Ali Akbar. But he falls and then he stands again and then he starts going the other way, Aina Ali Akbar. But he falls and he stands again and he starts going the other way. He goes in all four directions. He falls and rises 7 times. Finally he comes upon the dying son. When he looks at the dying son, he says, today Hussein is ghareeb. Ali Akbar says, no, dear father, I am still alive. Do not say that. He says, my son, come, your mother waits for you at the tent. Let me take you to your mother. He says, put your hands upon my neck, O Ali Akbar. And when he puts one hand upon the neck, he notices that the other hand, Ali Akbar, is hiding and covering his chest. He says to Ali Akbar, why do you not put your other hand? But Ali Akbar does not remove the hand. He says, no, father, do not look upon this. And then Hussein, when he looks, he sees that there is a broken spear in the heart, and he says, my dear son, this must be paining you greatly. Allow me to take it out. But when Hussein tries to take it out, Ali Akbar takes his last breath. He tries to pick up the body, but he falls again and again. Finally he says, O children of Bani Hashim, come and help Hussein, for Hussein cannot carry the body of Ali Akbar. فَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ لَا لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. مات میں حسین.